Hi truth seekers, welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to have another inside look of the sparkly part of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, catch the hottest scoop to make Meghan and Harry spill their fancy teas. The scandal of the day rocks the very foundation of the royal family, as it turns out that the king himself is fed up with his son's antics. Yes, you heard it right. King Charles is putting his foot down and excommunicating like a sort of billionaire absentee dad from the world. Now, before we get into this royal bombshell, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. You don't want to miss what's probably another juicy pork barrels related news. So let's break down this new chapter in the royal saga. The drama comes after Harry traveled back to London ahead of the Invictus Games, which are a cause close to his heart. No matter how noble the cause, wounded veterans, even that does not win favor with his family. No rest for the wicked when it comes to Harry and his ability to make the royal family blush. But this time he just went to another level. He even did the jaw-dropping thing of refusing his father an offer of keeping at one of the gaudy royal residences during his stay. Harry decided to stay at a hotel, rather than take up the offer of his father paying for his security detail, suggesting that he was snubbing the royal family on purpose. This seemingly mundane act says so much about the relationship of the father and son. Palace sources said that King Charles had already been fed up with Harry's behavior and viewed this as the final straw. To reject something like the royal residence is about more than just a need for space or autonomy. It reflects Harry's inner conflict over trying to separate himself from the royal family while maintaining some of his title and connections in his own best interest, too. Viewers were divided in response, with some supporting Harry as an independent and others slamming him for his seeming lack of gratitude and disrespect. The alleged incident has allegedly caused heated debate within the royal family. King Charles, who is usually mild-mannered and diplomatic, is said to have lost his cool. Insiders say he has chosen to cut financial links with Harry, something that would hit the couple's extravagant lifestyle significantly. It soon becomes apparent that the rift between Harry and the rest of the royals is growing ever wider. Ending financial assistance is not just a punitive measure, it is a wide emotional and psychological rift. For King Charles, this can be the only way to save the remaining thread of dignity and honor that still hangs over the throne. We can expect more revelations in the coming weeks and potential reactions from both sides. Have Harry and Meghan issued an official address on the new development? How could this impact their future endeavors and their links with the royal family? Only time will tell, however, there is one thing for certain. So, how much hubris and disrespect can you garner in a single incident? But oh well, here we are with the Duke of Delusion. Giving up on his father, giving him a roof over his head to go and shag his girlfriend in the nearest hovel, desperate to push his victim act of persecution. Meghan, as ever, is the snake in the grass, with her forked tongue cooing untruths about lockdown but really just wanting to keep a lid on their spin when she would probably have Harry sleeping in a Travelodge toilet if she thought it would add to them getting more Spotify plays and keep up the charade that they are the real victims here. It is sickening to the level of contempt involved in this most recent treachery. A level of fatherly humiliation fears that would make any parent wander the earth under a new name and avoid their aborted offspring forever. However, not Charles. He decided to pull a Henry VIII, in response to Harry's recent navel-gazing. He appeared absolutely horrified by the blatant show of disrespect, according to calls from sources. And so, it concludes. Charles has decided to take away the prince's training wheels in a more final thump and charm the man-child off on his own as the lone commoner he so desperately wishes to be. You will stop being mollycoddled, and you will stop getting the free ride, and you will stop getting special treatment as the wayward spare. In essence, it's all over. Harry has made it plain he wants to keep himself at arm's length from his father, Charles, who has always tried to do the best for him. But Harry has persisted in his apparent disrespect for his father's olive branches, despite Charles' diplomatic ally standing by him. This latest move doesn't only disrespect Charles, it undermines the very institution that has given Harry a roof and a purpose place for the past 35 years. Inside sources reveal they've had enough of Harry and Meghan's incessant media presence. Even the most empathetic family are growing sick of the human equivalent of a trust fund baby who both hurt themselves and revel in the attention, constantly presented as a victim. The relationship between Harry and his brother, William, has weakened, and it does not appear that it will improve any time in the future. The public is utterly split down the middle over Harry and Meghan. While some are understanding of their pain and appreciate their quest to build a life of their own, others perceive these efforts as disingenuous and selfish. Harry distancing himself from his royal roots to embrace the Hollywood limelight is what some see as a carefully choreographed PR move. It marks a turning point for Charles. Having been a king who has sought to bring the monarchy into line with the 21st century, Juan Carlos finds the dignity and stability of the institution imperiled by his heir's disobedience. Charles is out to reprimand Harry in the strongest possible terms, because he wants to make it clear that, while the monarchy endures, it will not be damaged from the inside. Harry wants to be outraged at being treated unfairly in his bizarre version of events. So be it. Now he pays for his actions, himself. And no more funding from the British taxpayers, no more royal perks or security. Now it is simply Harry and his wife, no longer receiving ill-gotten gains, complete with all the other dishonest individuals starved into survival. The abrupt about-face has sent shock waves through the Montecito mansion, a place that has been described as a hall of mirrors. The Duchess is extremely upset by the move as it means she will lose the tenuous links to her royal background. Back at work, Harry is probably sulking in a corner somewhere, the gravity of being permanently estranged from the only family that has ever really meant much to him finally dawning on his brain. Harry, on the other hand, surrounded by adoring fans of Meghan who read and study every move he makes for some hidden wound, is a prince with enablers attached to his family's last name. But it has been Meghan at the heart of the whole complex charade. He was the lover whore, allowing an ambitious parasite to manipulate him for his background while he assumed she would be the love aid he was always looking for. This split has consequences. The couple has leaned heavily on their royal connections, to boost their public profile and almost sell themselves assuring better deals. With the backing of the British monarchy, they may find their power waning, and the struggle to maintain their opulent lifestyles may prove more difficult than anticipated. Anything they do will come under increased public and media scrutiny as the public and media test their fitness to survive on their own. Given what Meghan and Harry have done, I actually think King Charles has been remarkably restrained going this scorched earth route. The couple's constant complaints and attacks upon members of the royal family in an explicit manner led to the inability to rely on them for their royal roles, which remains revoked from them even now. Once again, it is a lesson about royal privileges and how they must be repaid, as well as the entity whose every wrong they denounce made them who they are today. In years to come, Harry and Meghan will just have to negotiate a way without royal status and royal protection to fall back on. This situation really brings home to Harry the fact that there are, ultimately, ramifications for his actions and that his life in hiding is no picnic without the network he depended on his whole life. How this will play out remains to be seen, but the stakes are high for one of the most watched countries on earth, in either scenario, as it either carves out a successful new course on its own, or flounders with its newfound independence. They have one certainty: royals can no longer be counted upon, and a treacherous road awaits them. For decades, they went on decrying and destroying the very essence of an institution that wanted only to propitiate their inner brats and their sense of entitlement and failure. A theater of outrage where once was temple of stability and tradition. Now Charles, the only person who wanted something with his son, has finally thrown in the towel and announced he wants the whole thing written off. "I just want you to pack up your desperate performance, your victim's sad abuse dog look, and your lifelong repressed sense of being second class and get out of mine." Harry will cry and say his father was very strict and unloving. Instead, Meghan will no doubt scream that the press is racist, and that she and Harry are oppressed, or some other reason to paint themselves as victims. Yet they have a very important reality to blame themselves for. But they literally just have been terrible. They have either totally disrespected or sort of abandoned their ancestry, even going so far in familial theatrics only to choose being a life of scandal and angst over. Instead of continuing to cry for mercy, they would finally have to pay the piper. This is now his savior, who is essentially his only surviving relative, aside from arguably the most unscrupulous narcissist in a familial chain, the woman who he jettisoned his birthright for. He has married well in Meghan, a woman who is keener to play the victim and exploit royal links than turn the focus to forging a loving, grounded family unit. Charles can finally rest in peace, knowing that he did what was in his power as a caring father to resolve the affair, before closing the darkest chapter of all, for good. The pain and disappointment that have plagued him are now able to be met with a calm closure. Going forward, he can find comfort in knowing that he was open to sharing love, and he was ready for it, even if his son was not. Drop your comments below and tell me what you think. Hurry up for more thrilling stories and some explosive revelations on our YouTube channel. Follow, like and subscribe to Town and Country to stay up to date on the latest royal family news. Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned to the royal family for further news. Goodbye for now.